Hello. While considering what topic to choose for this discussion, I initially thought of several criminal issues that might be suitable. For example, communities across America have been struggling with higher crime rates in impoverished areas for decades, and we've been fighting what feels like a losing war on drugs for my entire life. However, there is a perception gap between what feels factual and the reality of what we live in. Since COVID, the rates of crime across nearly every category have actually fallen, with some of the steepest declines happening between 2024 to 2025. According to the Council on Criminal Justice, homicides, aggravated assaults, domestic violence, robberies, gun assaults, and sexual assaults are all between 10 to 20% lower than they were from 2023 to 2024. And while some of those issues absolutely feel worthy of being considered for the most important one, in reality, many crime categories are actually on the decline. However, there is one major criminal issue that, while relatively new to our modern way of life, has grown exponentially over the past 10 years with absolutely no signs of slowing down: cybercrime. So, cybercrime is a broad category that encompasses many other specific crimes, which include identity theft, phishing schemes, data breaches, extortion, ransomware schemes, cryptojacking, child exploitation, and cyberstalking, among others. According to the FBI's annual Internet Crime Report for 2024, over $6.5 billion were lost to phishing schemes, data breaches, and cyber extortion alone. While we won't have the 2025 statistics until later this year, that number is expected to grow, as there's been a consistent increase of between 50 to 100% since 2018, and that's just expected to rise over the next decade. The specific crime category, in my opinion, that's the most serious issue that we face as a society in this point is this. Cybercrime is unique in that it doesn't fit into any single criminological theory, as it's conducted by bad actors all over the world from a wide variety of backgrounds and influences, as well as companies and nations. In some instances, it's to sabotage corporate competitors or national rivals. In other instances, it's to steal money from unsuspecting victims who lack the technical literacy to know better. That's due to several factors that, when combined, kind of create the perfect environment for threat actors and to exploit and fleece individuals and companies all over the globe. However, the most applicable would be the routine activity theory, which posits that crime occurs more often when there is a party with the desire to commit a crime, an opportunity to do so, and an inadequate safeguard to prevent the occurrence of such a crime. In many traditional cybercrimes, these are the exact circumstances that frequently occur, with cybercriminals motivated by purpose, usually to acquire money or resources, who are able to locate a suitable target and then take advantage of one of many of the vulnerabilities that exist with either people or systems. So, discussing who's been affected the most, now that we know kind of what details the cybercrime, it's important to talk about the individuals that are getting affected. Cybercrime is different, and then it can affect every individual on Earth, sometimes simultaneously, and often frustratingly alone. However, there is a single group of individuals who are more susceptible to cybercrime, and those are people over the age of 65. On average, the elderly are less likely to report being victims of a cybercrime and generally demonstrate less technical savvy than their younger counterparts. Despite being targeted less frequently than individuals between the ages of 16 to 64, elder victims often lack an understanding of the sophisticated methods that cybercriminals employ and are more likely to fall prey to social engineering without realizing that it's happened until it's far too late. So, what can be done? While I've only touched on the surface of the issue, there are a lot of areas of research and potential solutions to address these crimes within our justice system. Cybercrime is a multi quadrant, complex issue that involves many factors simultaneously. The sophistication of the techniques used, coupled with emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, gaps in cybersecurity skills, geopolitical tensions, and interdependent global supply chains create a really massive headache for cybersecurity professionals and those in the criminal justice field. These crimes supersede the jurisdiction of any single agency or nation, as the threat actor that commits the crime might be in one part of the world, committing it against someone who's a victim in another part of the world, and then those stolen goods are often dispersed into banking institutions still somewhere yet else. In the coming years, researchers will need to develop more advanced digital forensics, better understand the psychology behind cybercrime, and keep up with the technical arms race that's required to protect people and systems from new threats. Artificial intelligence has rapidly increased the ease and frequency of attempting cybercrime, so cybersecurity specialists and law enforcement need to develop and employ deterrents and defenses to improve security infrastructures and maintain safety. Our justice system will also need to address the lack of oversight for such crimes, which take advantage of rigid jurisdictional separation and conflicting international laws. New legislation may need to be passed that provides members of law enforcement and courts more latitude to find and punish cyber criminals. Right now, the bad guys are winning, and the technology is helping them do so. Until we can understand and overcome their methods, that does not seem likely to change.